Hello again, and welcome to the latest bulletin from Haverhill UK News, brought to you by Haverhill TV. In the news for today, Friday, April the 5th, protesters about plans to build a 250-foot wind turbine near Haverhill Bypass descended on a town council meeting this week. Plans for another new church in Haverhill received the go-ahead yesterday despite objections from 45 neighbours. And St Nicholas Hospice says the Burton Centre is far and away the best place in Haverhill for its new outreach centre. 15 residents from Nosterfield End, where Burton End meets the bypass, descended on Haverhill Town Council's Planning Committee meeting on Tuesday to protest about a proposal for a 250-foot wind turbine in a field opposite their homes. Town Clerk Will Austin described the attendance as unprecedented in the last 12 months, as residents used the public forum to speak against the plan and asked members to support them. The Town Council can comment on all planning applications in Haverhill to the Planning Authority, St Edmundsbury Borough Council, which will make the final decision. The plan comes from James Sills, who yesterday was successful with a similar application at Chiltern Street between Hundon and Clare. However, members heard the Nosterfield End application has been opposed by National Air Traffic Safety on behalf of Stansted Airport. It would interfere with air traffic control radar. Residents described the plan variously as a blot on the landscape and a hideous eyesore for a minuscule and unpredictable amount of energy. Town councillors added their objections on grounds of visual impact and on listed buildings and noise pollution and the NATS objection. St Edmundsbury Borough Council yesterday approved plans for a new church and community centre with an auditorium for 350 people in Chapel Went Road between the Arundine and Meadowlands estates. This will be the second brand new church built in Haverhill in the last 2 years, due again to the rapid expansion of the church. This one is for the River of Life Church, which has been meeting in community buildings and schools, but has outgrown even the biggest and needs its own premises. 45 neighbours objected on a wide variety of grounds, ranging from noise and traffic to smells from the cafe and a possible increase in crime and vandalism, which it was claimed would be caused by the existence of a church building on what had previously been waste ground. But the proposal was recommended for approval by the planning officer because it would provide a community facility within an allocated site in Haverhill, a sustainable location that was readily accessible by a range of transport modes. The level of car parking provided on site was considered to be ample, with the support of the applicant's travel plan, and it would ensure that the site would accommodate the level of use proposed. Tim Passmore, the Police and Crime Commissioner for Suffolk, has published his first police and crime plan and performance framework after several months of consultation with the public and stakeholder groups across the county. The plan sets out his priorities for local policing for Suffolk and how he plans to address these priorities. It is Mr Passmore's first opportunity since his election last November to set out his objectives for policing and reducing crime and disorder in the county, and how policing resources will be allocated. And finally, St Nicholas Hospice has been presenting its case to town councillors for turning the Burton Centre into an outreach centre for the hospice. Representatives of the hospice spoke to this week's Town Council Planning Committee, where members, unhappy that they looked like losing out on getting the building as a youth centre, had to bite their tongues and stick to planning considerations. Kevin Clements from the hospice said they desperately needed the centre and had looked at several buildings in Haverhill. The Burton Centre was, by far and away, the most suitable, he said. In the light of local comment, they had removed the retail part of their plan and their shop would now remain where it was in the High Street. Town councillors, although stressing they supported the hospice in its search for an outreach centre, decided to maintain their objection to the plans, as they would amount to a loss of amenity in the town centre. And that's all for today, but join us again on Tuesday, and meanwhile keep in touch by going to www.haverhilluk.co.uk or following us on Twitter. And don't forget my weekly Heart of the Matter video blog tomorrow. Now, it's warming up very slightly, so here's the weekend weather.